Coming up on the Code Bet Daily, I have dragged in social guy Leo because James and Liam, well, who knows where they are, somewhere over the eastern seaboard at this stage, drinking tins. Leo, what are you looking at today?
I'm looking at why England will win the ODI World Cup and why the Aussies should be worried.
Oh, that absolutely sucks. I'm looking at all Champions League. It is a bunch of fun. Manchester United still suck and no Chelsea drive by today. It's the Code Bet Daily. Get around it because it's coming your way right now. Welcome to the Code Bet Daily. It is Tuesday, September 19th, and this is episode 198 of this here Code Bet Daily. Still haven't been fired yet. I'm not James Clements. I'm Alex Donnelly, who is hosting today and for tomorrow. I work at a pretty good website called codebet.com.au. You should go check that out. There is a lot of awesome stuff up there right now. The AFL wraps from last weekend, as well as the NRL wrap. We've also got some early bets this weekend for the Collingwood GWS prelim. Stats guy, hopefully on the plane, is working on his one for Brisbane and Carlton. Thinking of the games being in Melbourne. Because James and Stats guy are junketing on their way to the Gold Coast, I'm joined by social guy Leo. Leo, how are we?
Good, Alex. How are you? I'm not Stats guy, so hopefully I can do it just as good a job filling in for him.
You offer more than Stats Guy, and if you had to press the buttons, I reckon you'd do a better job than him. But yeah, Jim and Stats Guy up on the Gold Coast. Go check out our social medias. Leo runs all those social media accounts. He's been putting up an absolute crap ton of stuff there recently, and the boys are going to be doing some great social media content while they're up on the Gold Coast because, well, they actually need to do some work. But we are here for the Code Bet Daily. It's a Tuesday show, which is usually pretty tough. But for me, I've got a whole host of Premier League to look at and Champions League stuff. We've got player props, game picks, and best bets. I've got to rate my multi thrown in there as well. Leo, what have you got for us today?
I've got a Brownlow look. Looking at the Caribbean Premier League as well. An early look at the EPL and also an early look at the ODI World Cup.
Ooh, I like it a lot. CPL, that's Stats Guy areas with his tennis out wide. I'm assuming they're played on real pitches and not artificial ones, so at least you know the surface.
Yeah, I assume so.
That's good. All right, Gerald, hit it. Let's get into some player props.
Player props.
All right, Jim's still freaking out my mind, even though he's on a plane right now. Righto, some Champions League goal scorers. Of course, it kicks off tomorrow morning, 2 a.m. The first game, Milan taking on Newcastle. But we're not looking at that. Let's have a look at Erling Haaland and Manchester City taking on a Red Star Belgrade. Yes, Manchester City is taking on a Serbian league team. He is even money to score 2 or more goals. Now, over the weekend for EPL fans, Haaland dead set could have scored 5 goals. He had 5 big chances according to XG, which is expected goals. It's one of the big stats providers for the EPL. He only slotted 1 home, and this cyborg is such a psycho. He would have been practicing for the last 3 days and visualizing scoring. Now, we go towards the Champions League, where he did dominate last year. Now, Leo, he's played 32 games in the Champions League so far. How many goals do you reckon he scored?
Well, I can look at the run sheet.
Yeah, well, that's cheating.
I'm going to say over 30.
He's got 35 goals in 32 games. This is meant to be the premier football competition in the world. That is utterly insane. Now, with all due respect to Red Star Belgrade, I could probably score a goal striking for Manchester City this week, given such as their depth of talent throughout the field. So $2 for Haaland to score 2 or more. You're feeling a little bit spicy. $4.50 for him to score a hat-trick. He did pump home, I think it was 5 or 4 against Leipzig last season. So when he scores goals, he can score a lot of them. So not against that one whatsoever. We'll look across to Bayern Munich taking on Manchester United. This is Eric Kane coming up against Manchester United. He's only $1.70 to score any time. You're like, oh, well, that looks money for jam. But he's got a really average record against Manchester United throughout his career. Only 5 goals in 18 competitive matches throughout his career. You just need to look at how horrendous that Manchester United are going at the moment. They surrendered 3 goals to Brighton over the weekend, got absolutely smashed. Arsenal beat them before that. They look all at sea. Wolves should have beaten them in the first week. Notts Forest scored 2 against them in the first 6 minutes. They're going to go to Munich, and they're going to get hammered. They are going to get absolutely smoked, and I'll get to that later in our game picks. Kane's already scored 4 goals in 4 Bundesliga matches this season, so he's just picked up where he's left off here from Tottenham. He's gone to Germany, and he started scoring goals. Sorry, Man United, he's going to smoke you. Leo, what are we looking at?
I'm having a look at James Sicily to poll the most votes for Hawthorn, my beloved Hawks. It's paying $1.72 with Ladbrokes.
Okay.
Now, Sicily will or should have 3 vote games against St Kilda, Brisbane and Collingwood. Should also poll against West Coast and Richmond.
Yeah.
The only real threat to this is Jai Newcombe, but I think Newcomb's possessions can sometimes go just a little bit unnoticed. He plays...
It's like Sam Walsh.
Yeah, a little bit like Sam Walsh. I'd say Newcomb's a little bit more inside than Sam Walsh. Plays that high handball game. And I just think Newcomb's only obvious 3-vote game will be against the Dogs, where he just absolutely dominated them. I think he had 40 disposals.
Not even the West Coast game where he had a stack of possessions down in Tassie?
Yeah, he did, but Mitch Lewis kicked 6 goals. So I just think Lewis will get the votes there. And I just think Sicily has those obvious 3-vote games where he'll just simply poll more than Newcombe. And it won't be a high vote count. Hawthorn were just not good enough to get a high vote count. So I just think even a minimum of 9 votes for Sicily could get it done. So I like that $1.72.
I'm looking at a couple of different predictors at the moment because actually right now I'm currently in the process of writing a team-by-team Brownlow preview. Stats Guy's doing 9 teams. I'm doing 9. Newcombe on 1, and this is the AFL one, which has Lachie Neale winning by 3 votes.
I don't like this one.
They've got him on 19. But another one with Betfair, Friends of Hold All Tickets, they've got him on 13.5 and 13. So very interesting that. So I'll be digging in deep. There's a few other predictors and a few other stat lines I want to look at. So I don't mind it. All right, Gerald, some match or game picks, please.
What's your best match or game pick?
Again, talking about the Champions League, let's get some quick fire looks as they kick off tomorrow morning. Paris Saint-Germain, they kick off their competition against Borussia Dortmund. They're $1.75 to get the job done. Look, we can make all the PSG lol jokes all we want about the Champions League, but in the group stages, they are pretty good. I think they'll handle Dortmund, who have started off the season a little shaky in the Bundesliga. AC Milan and Newcastle. Now, those 4 teams are in the same group. PSG, Dortmund, AC Milan, and Newcastle.
Tough
group of death. Group of death. Like literal group of death. I'm going to go with the draw here at $3.60. Now, this is taking place over in Italy at the San Siro. Newcastle started their season a little bit shaky, but they did have a tough draw to start the season. They got the win over the weekend against Brentford. And I think in the back of their mind, they had been looking towards the start of this competition. Now, the usual rules are in Champions League as far as, going in as a team is win all your games at home and don't lose when you travel, and you're more than likely going to get through. I think Newcastle may take a bit of a defensive attitude towards this game. They are known for their time wasting at certain parts, as well as, very strong defensively. So $3.60 about the draw, I don't mind. We mentioned Manchester City taking on Red Star Belgrade. Man City and over 3.5 goals is $1.60. As I said, I think Haaland's going to run wild. You've also got Alvarez and co.
Haaland could get the over 3.5 himself.
Every chance, yeah. If you find a 4+ goals, good luck. You might get $11 about that. As said, on Thursday morning, so moving into the second morning, Bayern Munich head-to-head and score 3 or more goals against Manchester United. $3.39. We've mentioned how bad United are going. They've given up 3 goals in their past 2 games locally. Bayern Munich probably a little bit better than Brighton, you would suggest. And of course, I've got to finish off with my beloved Arsenal. I will be waking up at 4:45 Thursday morning. Hopefully this beeping in my house stops. Shout out to my real estate agent. Arsenal and over 2.5 goals against PSV at $1.85. The Gunners have been sort of building towards this competition for the last couple of weeks. As we've said on the EPL show, Arsenal, they're winning games, but not playing well. I think they're going to hit the ground running this week. Leo, what have you got for us?
Yeah, I'm heading off to the Caribbean Premier League here. I don't know if that's been talked about too much in the CodeBet dailies before.
No, not at all.
But yeah, I'm taking a look at the Jamaica Tallywas head-to-head.
What?
Jamaica Tallywas, that's their name.
Sure, okay. Gerald, on the video, please throw up their logo if you can find it. That'd be hilarious.
I think they'll win head-to-head against the St. Lucia Kings. That's $1.72 with Bet365.
Yeah.
The Tallywas have won the last 2 games against the Kings.
Yeah.
Their last meeting was actually yesterday, where the Tallywas won by 122 runs in a T20. I think Alex Hales in that game scored 119 not out.
Jesus.
They're just stacked with talent. They've got 3 of the top 4 leading wicket takers in the tournament in Mohamed Amir, Chris Green, and Imad Wazim. So, yeah, they'll just have too much firepower for this St. Lucia Kings team. And then just an early EPL game pick, going very early here, but Aston Villa head-to-head against Chelsea. As a beloved Chelsea fan, we just cannot score a goal at the moment. Playing a bit like Melbourne, I think, just doing everything we can to miss. And that's paying $4.25.
No way.
Yeah, I'm all over that. Just cannot kick a goal, whereas Villa will just have too much offensive firepower.
That is an amazing bet.
I don't really care that it's at our home ground or that Villa can leak defensively. We just cannot score. And how do you win games of football, Alex?
You score more goals than the other team.
There you go. So Villa head-to-head, get on that.
Well, especially when you look at the form this year for Chelsea, the 5 games, draw, 3-1 loss. They beat Luton Town. Anyone could beat Luton Town. Lost to Nottingham Forest and a draw to Bournemouth. Whereas at least, Aston Villa have smashed Everton, Burnley and Crystal Palace, and their losses have been to Liverpool and Newcastle. Now, for all those watching up on the YouTube, I have just got that photo from James and Stats Guy. They are clearly working very hard right now as they drink tins at the airport. Jerks. Leo, Gerald, sorry, please play best bets as I get over this anger I have.
Best bets. It's time for all the best bets.
The funny thing is, Jim's probably singing like that at the airport right now, so shout out to the boys. All right, best bets. We're going to go to the group toppers in the Champions League, so we're going to go through all the groups here. So Group A, I think Bayern at Munich will top their group pretty convincingly. We've talked about Manchester United being in there. I think they'll get through that easily. Same with Arsenal in Group B. They're $1.40, so there's a few favourites to get around here. And, of course, my screen goes away as soon as I get up the Champions League group, so shout out to that. Real Madrid to top Group C. I think that they're an absolute lock. They just sort of go through and know what they need to do to get it done. They do have Napoli in that group, so very, very tricky, that Napoli game, given how well they played last year. But I think Madrid, Bellingham started out there amazing. They get it done. I'm tipping an upset in Group D. I think Benfica can get over the top of Inter Milan and Real Sociedad. You've got RB Salzburg in this, but I think it's between Benfica and Inter. But Benfica at the $3.40 really gets the heart pumping, shall we say. Atletico Madrid at $1.62 in the group with Lazio, Celtic and Feyenoord. I can't believe they're that price. I think they should be like $1.30 or $1.40. Group F is the group of death with PSG, Dortmund, Milan and Newcastle. I'm tipping PSG, $2.10. Again, they do enough to get through and then they get knocked out in the round of 16 or the quarterfinals. Man City will absolutely cruise through. I don't know how they've got such an easy group. Poor old Leipzig have to cop them in the group stage again. Then they've got a team who I can't even pronounce as well as Young Boys. Well, it's actually Belgrade, but they've actually written it down something else in Google. God bless that. FK Zerda or some nonsense like that. And then Barcelona to top Group H at $1.29. Gerald, play the multi-bit, please.
Rate my multi.
Those group toppers, Leo, $50.29 with our pals at Ladbrokes.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I think I'll give that 7.5 or 8. I think Benfica and obviously the group of death are your worries.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's not bad. I'd give 7.5.
Yeah, and of course the top two go straight through to the next stage in group. The teams who finish third in their groups go to the playoff stage in the Europa League. So wherever Sevilla are, I think they're in Arsenal's draw. Look for them to come third in their group and then head off to the Europa League and win that for like the 37th time. Leo, what is your best bet?
Yeah, I'm taking a very early look at the ODI World Cup, which is set to start in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
England, I think they'll win the whole thing. It's $4 with Ladbrokes. Their squad is just absolutely stacked, not just with talent, but it's just incredibly deep and versatile. Got a lot of options with bat and ball.
Yeah.
I think India are their main competitors. They're paying $3.25 India. Obviously, they're hosting it.
Yeah.
So that's a huge advantage. But they're just also a very good team. Very well-balanced squad. I can definitely see an India-England final, but the reason I think England will win this is because they just play without fear.
Oh, they don't care.
Yeah, they won't care about conditions. They won't care about the crowd, and they're just a scary side to play against. And they're just filled with match winners. Like you look at Stokes, Root, Wood, Rashid, Brook, Livingston, Butler. Like I could go on here. Like they've just got so many match winners in their team. And if you get Stokes out, well, you've got Harry Brook to worry about.
Yeah.
So,
and India do have a propensity of choking. Australia have absolutely sucked in the last couple of weeks in South Africa. South Africa
since Stats Guy choked, since Stats Guy cursed us, we were 2-0 up, and then the Aussies sort of bottled it, I think. And I think they're paying $5 the Aussies to win the whole thing.
Oh, that's gross.
I would avoid that.
Watch Pakistan turn it on out of nowhere.
Yeah, Pakistan, they're $7. So I think Naseem Shah is injured.
Yeah.
That is a worry.
We're not getting much value in this market. Like $3.25, $4, $5, and $7 for the top three hopes. Come on, bookmakers, let us bet.
But I just think England, they'll be too good. They could honestly just go through undefeated in this tournament, 100%.
Just what we need, England to win a World Cup. Great. Well, that's a crap way to finish Code Bet Daily today. Anyway, we'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be the EPL show, which will moonlight as the daily show. That'll be Marcus and I, Stats Guy and Jim, still up on the Gold Coast. They will return for episode 200 on Thursday. That will be shambles because I assume it'll be the AFL show. And Carlton are playing in a prelim, so God help
boy.
Gerald. Anyway, get right around the show, would you? Please subscribe on your podcast apps. If you're listening to this on Apple, you just get everything in the one feed. On Spotify, please get around the EPL show, the NRL show, the AFL show, and of course, Hold All Tickets, brought to you by Punters and Betfair. The NRL show will be a bunch of fun this week because Phil is up and about. After Brighton beat Manchester United, he's going to Brighton and Bournemouth this weekend, and he's somehow still in Poland. So don't know how he's going to do it, but he'll do it. But on these podcast apps, please give us a like, give us a review, say you hate me, I don't care, that's fine. But chuck a follow on all of our social medias that Leo runs: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, X, and of course, Threads. Some fun stuff went up on TikTok last night that sort of took off in a semi-viral sense for us. So apparently people don't agree that the Big Big Sound is the greatest AFL theme song. If you disagree with me, go yell about it on TikTok because it's fun. Send in any questions via the socials, any bets that you have, any multis that you want to rate, any questions you want Stats Guy to ask some big, tall basketballers at the NBL Blitz. Get them to do that. That'd be pretty funny. I think that's it. Cheers, Leo.
No, thanks, Alex. Pleasure having me on.
You've subbed in very well. You never let us down. Shout out to Geraldo for producing. I've allowed him to work from home today as I am such a gracious stand-in boss that I've just appointed myself as. And thanks to me for hosting and dealing with this infernal beeping in my house. It's genuinely been going for 72 hours. I'm about to flip out. Anyway, what do we say, Leo?
Gamble responsibly.
Look at that. He nailed it. May all your picks come in. Happy punting. We will catch you tomorrow. So it's Code Bet Daily. Out.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.